throne, no crowd can stop Lord Chippy from burning them down. Justice ain't fast, justice ain't clean. It's a long, sharp road through the in-between. So raise your fists and light your flames. Chippy's coming and he don't play games.
Well, I mean, I just so happen to have my scepter with me. In fact, I have multiple of these. Yes, because when, Amazon pops up that they have Sailor Moon wands that turn into pins, but also extend to become semi-effective, pointing tools, I say shut up and take my money. But let's get to the naming and effing shaming. A mother who told relatives that she had sold her presumed no longer living 6-year-old to a woman at a Fiesta grocery store faces a new felony charge. Now, I would like to edit that headline. An incubator, because you have henceforth and forevermore been excommunicated from the mother club. You are now an incubator. You are no longer a lady. You are a female. You are a female incubator. Because a real mother would do none of this shenanigans. So ex-fucking-municated, okay? Don't test me today, sweet Pete's. I'm calling balls and strikes, and the wand never lies. The recently arrested mother of a long missing and sadly, heartbreakingly presumed no longer alive Texas boy is facing yet another felony charge in the Lone Star State. In late August, Cindy Rodriguez Singh, 40, was arrested on an extant charge of capital murder of a person under 10 years old over allegations which had been hounding the defendant for years. Singh is the incubator of Noel Rodriguez Alvarez, a 6-year-old boy who was disabled from Fort Worth suburb of Everman, who also disappeared without trace in the fall of 2022. Authorities soon determined that the child is likely no longer with us. Now, Singh indicated that the murder charge, or was indicted on the murder charge in October 2023, a little over 1 year after her son was last seen living. On Monday, a grand jury in Tarrant County handed up an indictment against the accused mother on an additional count of leaving a child without proper care. A spokesperson for the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office described the additional charge as in an email as a second-degree felony. Singh was already facing 2 counts of injury to a child and 1 count of abandoning a child without the intent to return, as law and crime previously reported. On August 21st, Singh was booked by authorities in Tarrant County. Sorry, 1 second. Lost my place. On the murder charge and 1 count of repeat offender DWI, jail records show. Her apprehension came less than 1 month after she was added to the FBI's most wanted fugitive list, becoming the 537th person to ever earn that distinction. Since November 2022, various witnesses have told law enforcement versions of stories always sourced from Noel's incubator, purporting to account for the beloved little boy's whereabouts. Those accounts and concerns put the Singh family on law enforcement radar, but charges were not filed until much later. Then the family left the country. Law enforcement learned that Rodriguez Singh had boarded an international flight with a layover in Turkey, with India as her final destination. Just 2 days before an Amber Alert was issued for Noel. Joining the defendant on that flight were 6 other children of hers, plus her current husband, Arshdeep Singh. Now, several authorities, such as human trafficking, have supported the notion that the boy might still be alive. But the police cautioned that those avenues of inquiry were quickly discarded and replaced by the belief that this little boy lost his life at the hands of his mother, or incubator. Now, his body has yet to be found. The cause of his presumed death remains unclear, and a potential motive is similarly elusive. Though occult-oriented explanations may feature in the criminal trial, overall physical evidence in the case has been non-existent. And this is a case where I do wonder how and why they got an indictment if there's not a lot of evidence beyond pure speculation. Look, I don't like what this woman did any more than y'all do. It makes me enraged. But I also don't like that she is in jail right now on very little, substantial, circumstantial, or concrete evidence. I want them to do this right. So if this woman did this, she doesn't get an appeal. They don't cock up the case beyond all recognition. So I hope they're able to find something because it is folly to make these charges if you just have speculation, if you just have, well, Occam's razor. That's great, but you need evidence in our courts. I don't want our courts to be, as emotional as I am. I want them to use facts and logic. Now, Noel suffered from a host of ailments that required attention and patience. He had not been seen for months by the extended family by the time that law enforcement came involved. When initially contacted by police about her vanished son, Rodriguez Singh said that the child had been living with his biological father in Mexico since November 2022. Now, detectives later learned that that was not true, and the boy's father had been deported before and has never even met his son. Eventually, all signs pointed to intentional homicide. There is a concurrent civil case filed by Child Protective Services in Texas, according to a Dallas-based Fox affiliate, KDFW. This case aims to terminate Singh's parental rights over her 6 other children. Now, last week, Singh appeared in family court for a hearing on that sealed dispute. The defendant's next court appearance for her criminal case is slated for September 18th. She is currently being detained in the Lon Evans Correctional Center on a $10 million bond. So again, I hope that they have the case, that they dot their T's, that they dot their I's, cross their T's. I hope that they do that, because if we are just jailing this woman because there's a hunch, there's a suspicion, I'm going to be really pissed off. In another heartbreaking story, maybe more heartbreaking just because of the everyday, interaction that was going on, getting your family, a treat, a snack, a dinner at McDonald's. Shot twice in the heart, a man threw himself in front of his fiancée after a confrontation at the McDonald's drive-thru led to a fatal shooting. A 21-year-old California man allegedly killed another man and injured a woman in a shooting in a McDonald's drive-thru in Los Angeles. Humberto Delgado stands accused of involuntary manslaughter in the death of 36-year-old Feliciano Felix Curel, according to Los Angeles Police Department. Now, Felix's family explained in a GoFundMe post that he and his fiancée, Karen Gonzalez Molina, had spent the night celebrating their engagement when they decided to stop at the East Hollywood McDonald's to grab a bite to eat. Now, while in the drive-thru, Delgado accused the couple of hitting his car. The couple disputed his claims, stating that their car had a sensor which would stop it from striking anything. "Where's the damage?" Felix asked Delgado in a video Gonzalez Molina showed to the CW affiliate KTLA. Now, Delgado allegedly got out of his car and started arguing with them before Felix got between his fiancée and the suspect. Felix threw himself in front of Karen to protect her. He was shot twice in the heart and died a hero at only 36 years old. And while you're praying for Charlie Kirk's wife and the victims and survivors of 9/11, keep this hero's fiancé in your heart and mind too. To be there at that actual moment to see it happen is a trauma that, again, I wouldn't wish on anyone. So please keep her in your thoughts and prayers, because I can't imagine. Uh, Gonzalez Molina was also shot in the leg. "He shot me too," she said in the video. "What the F?" Paramedics rushed Felix to the hospital, where doctors tried the best they could, but unfortunately, he was pronounced dead. Now, according to Felix's family, Delgado called the cops around an hour later and reported the shooting, claiming self-defense. And howdy, Santiago. But how is this self-defense when there was no accident, no weapon, and no threats of violence, the family wrote. Now, police arrested Delgado on the voluntary manslaughter charge. He is currently at the Los Angeles County Jail on a $100,000 bond. Felix's family members said that they're raising funds to pay for the costs associated with burying him in Mexico next to his mother, who sadly passed from COVID. So, just a line of family tragedies, and keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Well, I mean, this face does kind of, as Megan Fox would say, this woman has the sex scandal face going. Most deadly bullets on the planet. An election official unalived her tenant after searching for information about force multipliers and hollow point ammunition. A Connecticut landlord and former GOP elected official will spend several decades behind bars for admittedly taking the life of her tenant. In late June, Ellen Wink, 64, was convicted on one count each of murder and criminal lockout by a Stamford County jury. On Tuesdays, prosecutors announced that the defendant was to be sentenced to 50 years in state prison by Superior Court Judge John F. Wally. Now, Blink faced a maximum sentence of 60 years behind bars. She had previously turned down a plea deal that would have foregone a trial in exchange for a 40-year sentence over the death of Kurt Lamita, 54. Now, on January 20th, 2022, Wink killed Lamita by repeatedly shooting the man inside the property he rented from her on Nielsen Avenue in Norwich, a medium-sized city considered part of the New York City metropolitan area. Now, the woman's factual culpability was never in doubt. In her initial 911 call, Wink told the dispatcher that the victim had lunged at her. In the police interview at the scene of the crime, Wink admitted to being the one with the gun. During the trial, Wink continued to claim self-defense, and she argued she was suffering from extreme emotional disturbance. You would have to be to do what you did to this man, but it's not like an unintentional giveaway, Sarah Boone. Your emotional disturbance does not give you the right to do anything to anyone else. Can we repeat this? Can we make this a hymn? Your emotional bullshit doesn't mean you get to be an asshole. I need to make a jingle. I need to make a stinger that says that. But could we all in this congregation and moving forward, America, humanity, the world, your emotional whatever you're dealing with does not give you the right to be a dickhead. Say it loud, say it proud, and amen. And when she repeatedly squeezed the trigger over and over. Now, in the end, jurors rejected the killer's claim and sided with the state. The defendant had long been on pretrial release after a seesawing dispute over bond. She was taken into custody after the guilty verdict. Now, Wink's bond was originally set at $1 million, an amount that was then, or $1 million, which was then raised to $2.5 million after a different judge watched cell phone video of the shooting the court described as quite graphic. The state had originally asked for a $5 million bond, framing the video as proof, positive evidence that Wink committed the murder and was never in danger. Now, the video would later prove instrumental during her trial, according to courtroom reports by regional cable channel News 12 Connecticut. The footage was taken by Lamenta himself. He had secretly filmed his own demise as Wink entered the residence to remove items from the refrigerator because she wanted to clean and sell the property. Lamenta complained about the intrusion. That's ridiculous, he said on the video played for jurors. Every day you're going to come in and throw people's stuff away. The man's cell phone was in his hand at the time of this. Quickly, 2 shots are heard ringing out. You bastard, Wink says after firing her weapon. Then she fires again 3 more times. Then she shouts at her victim. Get out, the woman raged as the body dropped to the floor, along with the cell phone camera that recorded the whole incident. Get out of my house, get out of here. Wink continued to berate the dying man. Do you think I'm effing with you? Do you think I'm effing with you? Knock it off, you F. I'll give you a nice F off. Now, the landlord-tenant dispute between Wink and Lamenta had been simmering for months. Wink wanted Lamenta out due to an incident involving a dispute with a third tenant. So this started in August 2021. In September 2021, Wink was arrested for allegedly locking him out of his house and throwing him away his belongings. Next, in November of 2021, Wink turned off Lamenta's heat and electricity, one police officer testified during the trial. After that, in January 2022, Wink performed several internet searches regarding force multipliers and hollow point ammunition. Jurors heard another investigator explain. 10 days before Lamenta was killed, Wink accessed an article titled Bang, 5 Most Deadly Bullets on the Planet. Now, Wink was a Republican deputy registrar for Norwalk when she was arrested and lost her job immediately after being charged, as you would. That being said, I am politically homeless. I will call balls and strikes on both sides. We are not an inherently political morning show. I generally shy away from it, but I will call balls and strikes, and I will, tell the truth when it's there.